What's good, family? What's good? It's been a minute, huh? TC here, I.O.B.A. So I ain't talked about nothing in a couple of weeks, but a lot's happened. A lot's happened. First thing I'm gonna talk about is the Democratic race, the Democratic primaries, and the pretty much destruction of Bernie Sanders. You had to know people didn't really. You had to know people didn't really intend to have things changed by people. I meant the Democratic establishment. They didn't really want to have things changed. You know, they get their money from the big insurance companies and the big pharmaceutical companies, and they get, you know, in bed with the bankers and all, all the rest of it they do. Corporate Democrats, you know that. So they didn't want shit to change. They just want, right now, their main goal was beating Bernie Sanders because they knew Bernie Sanders could beat Donald Trump. So they had to destroy Bernie Sanders and that progressive goddamn shit about, free college and Medicare for all and, that sort of thing. Yeah, they ain't ready for that. They was calling it socialism. I mean, it was harder on him than Trump was. They totally destroyed the dude. Now, Bernie Sanders didn't do himself no favors. He didn't want to come talk to black people with no measure of real respect. He had nothing for us. And the black people that did come out came out for Joe Biden because they harkened back to the days of Barack Obama, which weren't good at all. I don't even understand that fucking connection sometimes. So Bernie Sanders gets pretty much taken right out the race by his own party. And like I said, all he had to do was get that black support, and he would have been able to weather that storm. But he couldn't for the life of him understand that what's good for one group of people after a traumatic wrong has been done to them is also good for another group of people. You got to understand that, he okay with reparations for his Holocaust, but not ours. You know what I mean? And that's unacceptable, really. So he ain't with our agenda. He didn't offer us no tangibles. We didn't vote for him. We exercised power, and we chose to not choose. What did that white guy say? The only way to get a party to change for you is to show them that you're not afraid. You're not afraid to not vote for them. And that's the position black people, progressive black people, black empowerment black people have taken since when Barack Obama left office. We didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. We didn't vote for Bernie Sanders because they offer us nothing but more benign neglect. My greedy ass dog. That's all. Just more benign neglect. That's been the Democratic policy since the 1980s maybe? Listen very attentively, but don't promise them anything. And just dilute the motherfucking resources as much as you can so that black people stay at the bottom. That's the policy. And it's been the policy since the 1980s, and that's what the Democrats want to maintain. So, Bernie Sanders, he going back to the Senate. He going to do what he do, but his agenda, and if it comes at all, some young politician will have to reintroduce it with more vigor and anger and push it a little harder and promise black people something for our vote. See, voting, everybody telling you to get out there and vote. I asked a lady one time, I said, for who and for what? And, she hit me with the old people died for your right to vote, people died for my right to do that. do this and do that. I know all of that shit. I know all of that shit. But if ain't nobody offering you nothing for your vote, what's the purpose of wasting your time to go out there and vote for more of the same? They got to know that you pissed off, and the only way to do that is to take yourself out of the process. I understand that side of it more than I do the voting, the people die for your right to vote side of it. You feel me? All right, so anyway, that happened. Okay, and then, so yeah, Bernie Sanders is probably not going to be the nominee. You're going to get motherfucking Joe Biden in there. He's going to pick some progressive woman. I told y'all Stacey Abrams would be back. And she, you know, now she's being considered as a vice presidential pick. My man Andrew Gillum, he got caught all up in some bullshit. He's pretty much finished. The guy that ran for governor in Florida, Andrew Gillum, remember him? He was that close to winning in Florida. But he lost to Ron DeSantis anyway. He got caught up in some drugs in the bathroom. It was some bullshit scandal he got caught up in with a motherfucking male stripper or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, he finished. He got on TV and did the apology, but he's all done. Black politicians, they don't get to come back from shit like that usually. Anyway, back on topic. Bernie Sanders is out. Yeah, Joe Biden is going through, and he's going to pick a woman vice presidential candidate, and they're going to lose to Donald Trump. The only way they don't lose is the fact that there's a pandemic going on right now. I'm sure y'all aware of COVID-19. And there's a pandemic right now, and Donald Trump isn't doing very well with it. He's throwing a bunch of money at the problem. But people so motherfucking poor until they got their mouth salivating at the thought of getting that money. He might hold that money over their head to after the fucking election, because the goddamn Democrats is offering piecemeal motherfucking solutions to, you know, the unemployment caused by COVID-19. They're offering these little chump-ass solutions. The Republicans are talking about putting $1,000 a month in people's hands and $2,000 a month in people's hands and giving them straight-up cash. They're just going to spend it right back into the economy because they have to. But they're talking about giving people straight-up cash. Something that they could fucking understand. People so easily fucking bought it. It's pathetic. They're not thinking long term. They should just put Bernie Sanders in the fucking White House, and you know, a lot of these problems would be easier to handle. You see what I'm saying? But no, they're not going to do that. They want that short-term solution, so they're going to take that cash that the Republicans is offering up and fuck around and vote Donald Trump back into the White House. COVID-19. As bad as he's handling it, he's still got a really high approval rating among Republicans. And the way the Democratic Party just fucked over Bernie Sanders and stuck Joe Biden in there, that Joe gonna have to get a banging ass vice presidential candidate. Might even be Elizabeth Warren or somebody who could step in if his old ass get taken out because of his dementia. You might get Liz Warren. Now that might take Donald Trump out too. That and this COVID-19 issue. This is gonna be interesting next couple of months. Me and my wife, we chilling in the house. I'm gonna tell you something about this virus, all right? Do what the motherfucking crackers tell you to do. Stay in the house, stay away from motherfuckers, right? Chances are ain't nothing gonna happen to you. I mean, when you do the math, you think about how many people there are in the country versus how many people are actually getting sick and dying. Don't get me wrong, I'm not minimizing shit. I'm just saying, keep shit in its proper perspective. Do what them crackers tell you to do. Stay away from each other. But chances are ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Me and my wife is teachers. So we get to stay home during all of this. You know, I got to report back to work Monday, but no kids and young people will be there, just the staff. But I got to tell you, man, this one feels stanky to me. I think somewhere down the line, in a short amount of time, they're gonna get things going again, because ain't nobody talking about how much this is really costing overall. It's costing trillions of dollars. This COVID-19 crisis, this pandemic, and ain't nobody putting no price tag on it. Ain't nobody talking about how we're gonna pay for it. They just paying for it. But when it comes down to giving black people what we are owed, or when it comes down to providing health care for everybody, but when it comes down to wiping out some of the student debt, when it comes down to saving the planet that we all have to live on, all these motherfucking Republicans want to talk about is how you're going to pay for it. You pay for it like you pay everything else. You print some of that motherfucking fiat currency, and you put some more numbers on the fucking computer screen, and you say it's paid for. That's how you're going to pay for it. Because that's how they fucking pay for everything else. But anyway, they ain't talking about how much this pandemic is costing, or how you're going to pay for it. It's a shame. But those are the things that's going on. So stay in the house, chill out, read a book, start your motherfucking novel, start your fucking workout, clean off that dusty ass exercise equipment that you got that you don't use. What else? Talk to your motherfucking children. Reconnect with your wife, husband, significant other. You know what I mean? Do like I do. Put out some motherfucking artwork. And chill until this motherfucking shit go over. You know what I mean? That's all you can do anyway. No matter whether you believe it's real or not real, who's immune to it, who's not immune to it, whatever. Just kick back and watch the show. Keep you and your family out the way. Keep everybody out of the way, out of harm's way, and watch the fucking show. That's it for now, y'all. I gotta go. I'm enjoying these days off. I guess I get my workout in too. I got a story for y'all on the next video. I'm just gonna see how it turned out. It's still ongoing. It's about a salesman that came to my house. I'm gonna tell y'all about that one. All right, that's it for now, y'all. TC, and I'm out.